They're in the gate, and they're off. Classy sprints out of the gate. Tiergarten has some early speed too, and Tiergarten is up on even terms. Homage is 3 wide, above suspicion, 4 deep, and now taken in hand to try and move closer to the inside. Violet Storm is next, and Vulin at the back of a compact field that moves into the first turn. And it is Classy showing the way. Uncontested on the front end, has it by a length and a half. Tiergarten in second, followed by Homage on the outside. Vulin is down at the rail. Then comes Above Suspicion, who's widest of all, and the gray Violet Storm in between rivals. 3 lengths covers the field as they run down the backstretch. And it's Classy in front, leading 3/4 of a length to Tiergarten second, Homage on the outside third. Then it's Above Suspicion, Violet Storm between horses, and Vulin at the rail. They head toward the 3/8. Classy has been the controlling speed. Asked to kick on now. Has it by just under a length to Tiergarten in second. They're starting to sprint home now. Vulin moves through on the inside, a joint third. Violet Storm now takes that third spot, far outside, Above Suspicion. Homage drops out. Classy, the leader at the top of the stretch. Tiergarten's been pressing the whole way. Tiergarten on the outside, and Classy are head and head with a furlong left to go. Violet Storm and Vulin coming to the 16th pole. On the outside, Tiergarten, center of the course, Violet Storm, Classy at the rail. Violet Storm is kicking into high gear outside of Tiergarten. Here is the line. Violet Storm got up. Tiergarten second. Classy finished third, fourth to Vulin. Out of the gate. Tiergarten has some early speed too, and Tiergarten is up on even terms. Homage is 3 wide, above. They're in the gate, and they're off. Soul Sweet and Henny's Crazy Train on the outside. Saturday Heist is up close too. Then Flat Out Joy and Little Rachel at the back of the field. Contested battle past the 5/8 pole, and it's Soul Sweet by a nose. Henny's Crazy Train in between horses, and Saturday Heist just a neck back while in hand third. Another 2 back to Flat Out Joy, joined at the rail by Little Rachel. They move into the far turn with Soul Sweet just in front. Henny's Crazy Train continues to press, and Saturday Heist on the outside of that pair. 3 of them across the track, less than 3 furlongs to run. Flat Out Joy is in fourth, and Little Rachel down at the rail. They're at the quarter pole. Henny's Crazy Train and Saturday Heist going on with it now. Soul Sweet is under pressure. Little Rachel, and on the far outside, Flat Out Joy. There's an 1/8 of a mile to go, and Flat Out Joy is kicking into high gear on the outside of Saturday Heist, who has the lead. Saturday Heist just in front. Flat Out Joy bearing down on the outside, and Henny's Crazy Train fights on. Flat Out Joy with the momentum. Flat Out Joy got up. Saturday Heist, Henny's Crazy Train, and Soul Sweet. They're in the gate. And they're off. Maven and Chaos Theory both began well. Here's Finally Here coming through quickly along the inside to tackle Maven in the early stages. Ted, Barristan the Bold in that group, along with Winding, and the early trailer is fully loaded. There's a scramble for the lead. Finally Here comes through along the inside to lead it by a head. Ted is one from the rail, being shuffled right out of it as they move around the far turn. Barristan the Bold, Winding, Maven Extreme outside. Chaos Theory is just behind the battle up top, waiting for a spot to run through, and then comes Fully Loaded at the back of the field. They're at the top of the stretch. Maven widest of all, and Finally Here are head and head. Chaos Theory is chasing nicely now, and here comes Chaos Theory, set down, and blowing on by. Chaos Theory takes command and pulls clear under Hector Berrios to win convincingly as the favorite. Finally here came up 3 lengths short, fully loaded in a show photo with Maven and then Ted in a battle for 5th. They're in the gate. And they're off. An awkward beginning for Kiss My Cat. It's a quick one for Cat Bandit. On the far outside, Anna's music is flashing plenty of early gas, too. And here's Kiss My Cat, who was off last and is now in front. So Kiss My Cat off the long layoff, showing very good speed, linger along the inside. And in between those two is Cat Bandit, a little bit crazy, a close-up Fort, just 2 off the lead. Then Agree to Settle inside Anna's music, and Chevy Girl is at the back of the field. It's Kiss My Cat to the 3/8 pole. In hand, pulling away now 3/4 of a length to linger in second. 2 more lengths, Agree to Settle takes third. On the outside of Cat Bandit fourth. On the inside comes Chevy Girl, who's 7 lengths off this loose leader as the field turns for home. Kiss My Cat on cruise control at the top of the stretch has a 4-length lead. Agree to Settle takes up the chase with nice strides into second. Kiss My Cat now suddenly getting very weary. 2-length lead. Agree to Settle coming smartly on the outside, and Agree to Settle is right up to Kiss My Cat and runs right on by. Agree to Settle, and Ricky Gonzalez will win it going away. Kiss My Cat second best. Then it was Chevy Girl, followed by Linger and A Little Bit Crazy. East Rand completes the line. And they're off. Niles' Channel began smoothly. Larry's Legend moves up inside of him to take the lead. And East Rand has good speed, too. Southern King at the rail is up close. Big Buzz is only 4 lengths off the early tempo. And Overdue galloping along by himself at the back of the field. Larry's Legend will set the pace with East Rand clearly second into the first turn. Southern King hugs the rail, now moves up to take second. It's another 2.5 back to Niles' Channel, who's now 5 lengths off the lead. Big Buzz inside of him, and Overdue has 8 to make up. Onto the backstretch, and Larry's Legend leads it by 2.5 or 3 lengths. Southern King inches up on the inside of East Rand. Those two race together as one. A gap of 4 lengths then to Niles' Channel, Big Buzz, and 2 more to Overdue. Heading toward the 3/8 pole. And it's Larry's Legend by 1.5 lengths. East Rand now second by himself with Southern King inside of him. 3 more to Niles' Channel and Big Buzz steady just a touch there. And Overdue is at the back starting to pick up some momentum. Approaching the quarter pole, it's Larry's Legend a 1/2 length in front. East Rand is in second. Here's Overdue. Overdue coming with a menacing bid on the outside under very confident handling too as Southern King slips through and gets the jump. Southern King opens up 3. Overdue moves clearly into second. Southern King, Overdue. Southern King 1.5 lengths. Overdue can't get him. It's Southern King, another for Berrios, winning by 1.5 lengths. Overdue second, Larry's Legend, Niles' Channel. Goes in. They're in the gate. And they're off. Tiz Talk is sprinting out. Harlow Cap up to take the lead, though, at natural speed. And outside of them, it's Text the Legend. That's not Text the Legend. As they move into the first turn, it's Vegas Burner, who's 3 wide into the turn. So it's Harlow Cap setting the pace, leading it by 1.5 lengths. Tiz Talk second, Vegas Burner in the clear while third. They're followed by Yellow Brick fourth, in between horses with the yellow colors. On the far outside, Quincy Market is 3 lengths off the lead. Then Navy Man flat on and Text the Legend at the back. 6 lengths covers the field, and it's the favorite Harlow Cap with a narrow lead under a nice hold as well. Harlow Cap runs down the backstretch, leading by 3/4 of a length. Now it's a full length. Between rivals, Tiz Talk and Vegas Burner outside of them. Yellow Brick in a good spot at the rail in fourth, about 3 lengths off the leader with less than a half mile to go. Navy Man is next, followed by Text the Legend, trying to make a little bit of headway. Flat on and Quincy Market at the back. Harlow Cap takes them around the far turn, pressed a bit by Vegas Burner, who can't keep up in second. At the rail, Yellow Brick is 3 off the leader in third, followed by Navy Man and Tiz Talk. It's been easy going so far for Harlow Cap. Yellow Brick takes up the chase now. He's 3 behind as they come to the 8th pole, and Harlow Cap, showing no signs of slowing down, maintains a comfortable 3-length edge. Yellow Brick second by a block. Text the Legend, Tiz Talk, between them, Navy Man are all battling for third. Harlow Cap, dominant in victory. Wins it by 4.5. Yellow Brick second, Text the Legend third, in front of Navy Man and Tiz Talk. Savile Row to the outside. And they're off. Conch Daddy gets the first call out of the gate. Between rivals, Santa Cruiser is up close. Here's Forgiving Spirit in the orange colors, moving up to claim second. Then it's Daniel's Magic, Red Cap one from the outside, Savile Row extreme outside. Down at the rail, Stotland is about 4 lengths off the speed, King Apollo steadying in traffic. It's Conch Daddy with a clear-cut lead past the half-mile pole, a length and a half to Daniel's Magic and Forgiving Spirit sharing second. Santa Cruiser's between those two, followed by Stotland, King Apollo, and Savile Row outside of them. Conch Daddy, Forgiving Spirit, puts the pressure on second. A length back to Daniel's Magic, now 2 behind in third. King Apollo gets a little bit of breathing room in fourth, followed by Stotland at the rail, Santa Cruiser and Savile Row there at the top of the stretch. And it's Conch Daddy and Forgiving Spirit. Forgiving Spirit runs right on by, 3 lengths back. Between rivals, King Apollo is finishing nicely and trying to get to Forgiving Spirit, but Forgiving Spirit still has plenty left, and Forgiving Spirit will win it by a length. King Apollo second, Daniel's Magic third in front of Stotland and Conch Daddy. They're in the gate. And they're off. Slow start for Lasting Love. Slight bobble for American Lily, who comes out in second as Princess Adelaide pulls clear a length and a half while drifting out. Manarelli comes through along the rail to challenge, and American Lily is 3 off the pace in third. They're followed by 2 Bossy down at the rail, fourth and 4 lengths off the dueling leaders. Bowl of Cherries is next, Ute Your Honor, and another 3 to Lasting Love. They move to the far turn, and it's Manarelli at the rail, Princess Adelaide pressing from second, 2 Bossy coming after the top pair third. Then comes American Lily, Ute Your Honor outside of that pair. Bowl of Cherries is just behind this group, 4 lengths off the lead and 2 in front of Lasting Love. They have a 1/4 mile to go, and American Lily makes a wide bid to challenge Princess Adelaide for the lead. Down on the inside, Manarelli fights on, and they're followed by two Bossy. Center of the track, Bowl of Cherries is coming nicely. Past the 8th pole, and American Lily wrests a narrow lead from Princess Adelaide, who fights her to the wire. It's American Lily just in front, and American Lily prevails by a long neck. Princess Adelaide second. Third went to Bowl of Cherries in front of Manarelli and two Bossy. Opening the front of the gate for playlist. And they're off. AG Bullet is very fast away from the gate. Lunar Impact with the yellow cap racing in between horses close up, and Gila is just outside of that pair. Gila puts her head in front now. Then it's Mount Mary, a close up fourth, far outside Playlist fifth, about 4 lengths off the leader. Then comes Irish Patsy. Rivka is racing in mid-pack and in a touch of traffic at this stage. Fayette Fox on the inside of Marina's Tina. And then it's another length and a half back to Ruby Nell. And at the back of the field, Not Now. 7 lengths covers them, fairly compact into the turn. AG Bullet is the leader. Has it by 2 lengths now. Playlist on the outside, moving into second. Irish Patsy is down at the rail as Mount Mary is dropping back around the far turn. Marina's Tina picking up a little bit of momentum. Ruby Nell switches to the far outside with the orange cap. There's a furlong left to go, and the lead still belongs to AG Bullet. In fact, she has widened a 6-length lead. Ruby Nell comes out of the pack in the center of the course, moving into second late, but it's all AG Bullet and Joe Bravo just trouncing the competition. Ruby Nell second best. Third went to Not Now, followed by Playlist in fourth, and there was a battle for fifth that did involve Marina's Tina.
It is a beautiful day here in Southern California, and it was a beautiful evening last night in South Florida. That's because the Eclipse Award Horse of the Year was awarded to a Southern California horse that calls Arcadia, California, and zip code 91007 home 6 of the last 10 years. Hi, everybody. My name is Tom Quigley, VAP Player Concierge, also your seminar host for the next 40 minutes. Delighted that you decided to join us, and congratulations to all the connections for Flightline. Of course, trainer John Sadler, jockey Flavian Pratt, Mr. and Mrs. Ronis, West Point Thoroughbreds, Summer Wind Equine Farm. Congratulations to all of them on a spectacular night. And I mentioned that 6 of the last 10 Horse of the Years reside right here in Southern California. You don't believe me? Everybody thinks, oh, Bob Baffert dominates that. Well, he's won 3 of those 6. He won with Justify and Authentic and also American Pharaoh. But don't forget about good old Art Sherman with California Chrome. He won 2 times. And then, of course, last night, Flightline won for Ronis Racing and Mr. John Sadler. Big weekend here at First Bet, not just at Santa Anita, but some of our sister tracks around the country as well. If you don't know, today is mandatory pick 6 payout at Golden Gate Fields. Unusual for a Friday, but they're going to experiment and see how they do. So make sure you handicap today's card at Golden Gate Fields. That's because there's a mandatory payout in the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. Also tomorrow, Gulfstream, of course, needs no introduction. 13 race card, ending with the Pegasus World Cup, $3 million on the line. First post is 7:50 a.m. Pacific time. Gates will open here at Santa Anita at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. And of course, the $1 coast-to-coast pick 5 will be in effect as well. And good old Santa Anita, we've got only 26 races over the next 3 days, but of course, we've got the $1 golden hour pick 4 and many other good races on tap. But I can't do this by myself for the next 40 minutes. I need somebody much younger than us to carry the heavy load, and I found the perfect person. He's been on here many times before. You'll find him very entertaining. He's the future of our sport. His name, Sebastian Piscuskas. Sebastian, welcome to the seminar and happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Tom. It's good to be back. Thank you.
You're wearing the Breeders' Cup hat with Santa Anita like a good company man would, because in early November, we're hosting the Breeders' Cup. As if we didn't have enough going on at First Bet, we've got the Breeders' Cup. Were you here for the Zenyatta Breeders' Cup when she stormed home to victory in the Breeders' Cup Classic?
I was. I think I was at the 16th pole for that one.
Now, what was your recollection of that? Because many people will say it was one of the greatest sporting events they ever witnessed. Would you fall into that category as well?
I would, yeah. Just it was electric. Santa Anita rocked. I didn't get to see her make the move. I just saw her swing out at the 8th pole. And by the time she went past me, the place erupted. It was awesome.
Did you hear Trevor Denman's famous call where Zenyatta has a lot of work to do as they were down the backside and she was in last place?
Yeah, I've watched that call at least 100 times. I mean, it brings a tear to your eye every so often when you watch it. I still don't know how she won. She was just magic.
She was magical, and that's what brings us to the track each and every day. Now, I mentioned that you're young. I've got times older than you, just to put it on the record. How old are you, Sebastian?
28, Tom.
28?
So, yeah, you might be that shirt might be older than me, Bucks.
I think it is. It's been to the dry cleaners once or twice, that's for sure.
I have too. Coming here a long time.
Now, we were talking about the Breeders' Cup and Zenyatta winning the Breeders' Cup Classic, and of course, the grandstand and the clubhouse were mobbed. I guess there were probably 70,000 people on track. But let's face it, those days are few and far between. And I'm always, nostalgic, trying to get back to that point in time where we did have 20, 30, 40,000 people on track on a regular basis. You're part of the younger generation. Are those days just in the rearview mirror and never going to happen again? Or should we always try and bring people on track? And if we are going to try, how are we going to accomplish that?
So we're always going to try. We're going to try to make it lucrative for our customer to come on track. That's what we're trying to do with XP Rewards, 50% off admission at the front gate. We send out our mailer, free tickets, free mutual mystery vouchers. Just come on down. It's the greatest place to be.
What about young people, though? Those are our existing customers. We want some new blood like yourself. You're few and far between. How do we get some of your friends or high school or college classmates to kind of come out here and spend a day at the track with us?
So my generation, we're a bit of penny pinchers, okay? So when in doubt, dollar day, they all come out.
Is that really the key?
Yeah, well, I mean, yes and no. You got to get them interested in handicapping. Make it a fun afternoon, which is what we do here at Santa Anita Park. But, we just want it to be accessible. Racing has always been more of an elder statesman kind of game, but we do want to get the younger generation into the sport. And so how to do that is to make everything accessible for them.
We tried Dollar Day across town on Friday nights at Hollywood Park, and of course it was a lot of fun and a lot of good memories, but I'm not sure how many horse players it really made long term. And you talked about introducing the newer players to handicapping. You and I are continuing to learn to handicap each and every day, just listening to other people, making our own observations. How do we get, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think your generation has less of an attention span than maybe some other generations. How do we get them to pay more attention and get them involved in handicapping?
Maybe not so much handicapping for me. I want to get them into the wagering aspect of it. So the handicapping is maybe a step in the door, but to really keep them coming back is to get them to cash tickets and keep them coming around.
You make a good point, Sebastian, and it kind of reminds me of when I first came to the track. I was 13 years old, growing up in the city of Chicago, the concrete jungle, knew nothing about horse racing, and my friend's dad took us out there. And what I fell in love with that very first day was the beauty of the sport. At age 13, I didn't care anything about gambling or anything like that. I had no idea what was going on, but it was just the raw beauty of the horse, the jockeys, the silks, the turf course at Arlington Park. It was just like a visual overload for me in terms of something so beautiful. So I think we can maybe hook the young people with the beauty of the sport. And then, of course, there will just be a small percentage that wind up handicapping. But I think we just need to do more and more. We live in LA. There's how many millions of people here? We need to do a better job, and we're relying on you to bring those people out here.
Well, you got the right guy for the job, Tom. But we have a small battle that we're going to tackle every day, and we're going to get people in here. It's just a matter of when, not if.
You're the loyalty and marketing ambassador for the Great Race Place here. You're here every day. You were here at 8:40 this morning, beating most of us into work. What are some of your job responsibilities besides the few that you've already mentioned?
Well, as you see me every day in Eddie Logan Sweet Boss, I am now doing some of the AV stuff.
Maybe AV, audio visual.
Yes, not the XBTV. That's why it looks good. I got nothing to do with that one. But that's part of what I do. Loyalty takes up a lot of what I do as well. I'm constantly looking at data, running reports, getting numbers to our bosses, if you will.
Senior executives.
So, of course. So that's just a little of what I do. And every day I show up, it's a new challenge and it's a new set of responsibilities. And as a result, I'm always doing something new.
They say if you love what you do, it never feels like you've worked a day in your life. Does it feel like, I know we're tired at the end of the day, and of course we get beat up with 9 million requests and people, tapping on our shoulder left and right. So we go home tired and exhausted, but it really is, you probably feel a sense of accomplishment knowing that you did a good job at the end of the day.
Oh, it's a labor of love. It's to your point, when you're doing something you love, you never work a day in your life. And I tell you what, don't tell anybody, but I probably do this for free.
Nobody's watching. Don't worry about
cool.
it.
Well, I would probably do it for free, but chose to pay me to do this. So I'm more than happy to stay around. Believe it.
What are some of your career aspirations, Sebastian? Of course, you're starting out on the bottom rung. I call you the gopher because you'll do anything that anybody asks you to do. But as you work your way through the corporate hierarchy, like what would you like to do? Would you like to be like a duplicate of Nate, who started out basically in the mailroom and wound up being the general manager? Do you maybe want to branch off in a different direction? Like, what are some of your personal career goals?
Personal career goals in racing would be to stay around here at San Anita Park. This is it for me. This is the pinnacle. This is where I cut my teeth. I learned a lot. I spent every weekend with my grandfather. Memories galore. Everything about my racing experience has been San Anita Park, and so if I'm not here, I don't know if I'm still going to be around in racing, to be entirely honest with you.
Like you said, you'd be here even if they didn't pay you. You'd be here as a patron. So it's a blessing that they're actually that you're actually able to collect a paycheck. Before we take a quick break, refresh my memory, Sebastian. Were you here at the age of 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years? Like, how old were you the first time your mom brought you to the track?
Well, okay, so it's funny. I was in the womb the first time I was here, and then the next time after that was I don't remember 2 weeks old either, but I was still here. I've spent my entire life here to this point, and I look forward to spending the next 28 years here.
Who knows? Sebastian might have been handicapping in the womb for all we know. We're going to find out who he likes on today's 8-race card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes on today's 8-race card at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. Here are the early changes. The track is fast, the turf is firm, with the rail on the turf at 30 feet. There are no changes in the first, start of the early pick 5. In the second, scratch number 2, Chow Mar. In the third, scratch number 3, it's a program scratch of Chicks Dig It. The third is the start of the Rainbow 6 with an 8-race card today. There's 198,000 in the jackpot carryover. Number 6, Sassy Nature, will carry 2 pounds over. The fourth begins the late pick 5. Just a blinker note. In the fifth, scratch 1, Pat's Lucy. Race 5, scratch number 1. Number 2, Only Lightning, 2 over. 8, Runaway Sally, 6 pounds over. In the 6th, scratch number 1 for a laugh, and as a result, there's no show wagering in the 6th. In the 7th, beginning of the golden hour, pick 4, no changes. And in the 8th, scratch number 10, Golden Eye, start of the golden hour double. Those are the early changes on today's card. Don't forget tomorrow's Pegasus Day at Gulfstream Park. We'll have a huge day here at the Great Race Place. We have the World Cup, the Pegasus World Cup live from Gulfstream. Great wagering opportunities, as we'll also guarantee the late pick 5 and pick 4 from Gulfstream Park at $750,000. Also, there's a guarantee on the Pegasus pick 3 for a pool of $350,000. And of course, we'll be offering our new Coast to Coast pick 5 with a combination of races from Santa Anita Park and Gulfstream Park, a player-friendly 15% takeout and a $1 minimum. There have been some great payoffs already in the new Coast to Coast pick 5. We also have the California Wine Festival. Enjoy our wine tasting event right on the home stretch. Please keep in mind that gates open tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. At this time, let's go back to Quigley's Corner. Tom's special guest today, a valued member of the Santa Anita Park team, Sebastian Piscuskas.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Sebastian Piscuskas. He is the loyalty and marketing ambassador here at the Great Race Place. He's a whopping 28 years old, and yet he's very knowledgeable for his young age, and he has a passion for the sport because the first time he ever came to the track without knowing it is when he was in the womb of his mother, which of course was many, many moons ago. Sebastian, before we take a look at today's 8-race card, you talked about how your generation is a bit of a penny pincher generation, and therefore money obviously is difficult for them to come by. The racetrack can be an expensive place, but also the racetrack demands that you bring cash. And when I go to any retail outlet, even if it's 7-Eleven and somebody buys a pack of bubble gum for $1.50, they whip out their debit card and pay for it rather than use cash. Is that an obstacle for us attracting new fans? And if it is, in terms of them not having cash, actually accessibility to cash, what can we do to maybe help or improve them become customers?
So it is a bit of an obstacle for us. We, given our generation is largely cashless. But through your First Bet Express Bet, you sign up for your account. You can fund it right on your phone. You never have to go to a window. You could choose to. That's what I do because I'm a bit of a dinosaur. Even though I'm a little on the younger side, I'm still a bit of a dinosaur. What you get used to is that's what you do going forward, and I'm not changing.
You were born with the internet, let's face it, and you probably use countless apps, right? So to add another app, whatever it might be, use an app for Uber, use an app for Netflix. I'm sure there's countless apps you have. So to add another app for anybody walking in the door to use First Bets, which by the way, register as on-track wagers when they utilize the app on track. That's no big deal for them, right? I mean, for us dinosaurs, using your terminology, it might be a big deal, but for you guys, it's no big deal.
Oh yeah, it's a 10-second download, maybe 15 seconds, depending on how fast your data speed is, right? But it's a quick download, quick install, quick sign-up process, nice and painless. We got plenty of sign-up promotions. So it's really one of the easier things to do, but still, don't forget, cash is king. Make sure that you get to the window. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like mispunching your first ticket at the window. It's an experience you'll never forget.
We're hoping that the selections you give out over the next 8 races are nice and painless as well. So let's take a look at today's card, Sebastian. Kicking off in race number 1, where we're on the turf course. I mentioned track conditions are fast and firm. The rails today are at 30 feet, and this first race is 1 mile on the turf course, I should say, for maiden special weights. A field of 9, and the morning line favorite in the current betting choice at 7-5 is number 7. Dancing Rinka, one of 2 in here for trainer Neil Drysdale. A lot of different ways you can go here. Which way you going, Sebastian?
Yeah, I landed on the favorite here, Tom. Dancing Rinka.
That's boring. That's not your style.
I don't know what to tell you. He's caught one more bid in his last 2. One more bid was sitting on a win. He's now entered in one of the Pegasus races tomorrow. He's 20-1 morning line. But as far as 20-1 shots go, you could be in a lot worse spots with a horse like that. So I think he's live in that spot. And so when you've got a horse like Dancing Rinka that gets beat by him a neck in 2 straight, I mean, where else can you go?
Dancing Rinka, you mentioned, comes out of that race, that one more bid. broke his maiden special weight back at Del Mar in November. As you mentioned, Sebastian, he came back to win the Grade 3 Mathis Brother Mile on opening day here at San Ida, and will be running tomorrow at Gulfstream Park. The other Drysdale runner also exits that race and didn't miss by much, even though by finishing 5th. I see you don't have Irish Prophet 2nd, but they do get the leading rider. You like Ridley's Major a little bit better, the son of Gunrunner. Tell us why.
So Ridley's Major, he's now first time Michael McCarthy from the Chad Brown barn. He ran credible races on the grass in 3 spots. Then he went and moved over to dirt. I liked his work tab. It's a little spotty, but that's rain affected. I just think that he's a horse that we haven't seen on this circuit, and sometimes you have to go with the fresh face.
Ridley's Major, ridden by Kazushi Kimura, who has made a very positive impression here, quickly becoming one of my favorite jockeys because his head is down in the mane as they cross the finish line. He never gives up, and he's put up a couple polished rides. What have you seen so far from Kazushi?
He's improving every day. He's leading rider at Woodbine, and it's really not close. He's come down here, and he's had some success. And I just like that. It's like you said, he puts his head down, he finishes through the wire, and, you're never wondering or scratching your head at the end. Did he give it his all? He gives it 110%.
You're known to look around the country and view simulcast races. You mentioned Woodbine and Kazushi being the leading rider. Did you see him right up there a lot? And are you surprised by his success down here?
Whenever you turn on Woodbine, which we get it every day, so you turn it on and take a look at it. So I'm a bit familiar with it. He's just sharp. He does his homework. It's a little different over there, riding style, only backhand whips. Still have to count strikes, but as far as it goes, this is just another, obstacle for him to overcome, and he's done it great so far.
He sure has, and continued success to him and his agent, Brandon O'Brien. Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This time we're on the main track, 1 mile the distance. Fillies and mares, $16,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. 1 scratch, scratch the 2, leaves us with a field of 5. Morning line favorite coming back off the layoff, number 3, Naughty Evelyn, 2-1 on the morning line for Breeders' Cup winning trainer Derek Meredith. You remember Card Mania at all way back in the day, or was that before your time, Sebastian?
That was a little before my time. I'm familiar with the name, but I don't recall ever seeing him with my 2 eyes.
Pull it up on YouTube and watch Eddie D go to work at the wire. It was a thing of beauty right here at the Great Race Place. All right, enough trivia for you. Who do you like in race 2 and why?
So in race 2, I ended up on Parco as my top choice. Races like this, 16 non-2 life, going a mile on the dirt, these races tend to just be a bit of a staying competition. Whoever kind of ends up on the lead at the top of the stretch typically sticks around. And so that's why I end up with a filly like Parco. Similar, thoughts with Naughty Evelyn, is they both want to go to the lead, and it's just a matter of who's going to be stronger in the lane. And what I like about Parco is, even though she doesn't necessarily finish off her races the way I would want to see her do so, she travels in the middle of the race like a dream. So she might be in this level for 16 non-2 life, but if you ever looked at her down the backstretch, you'd think she was an allowance type. She just likes to come up empty in the lane.
5 and 3 in race number 2. So says our summoner, I guess, Sebastian Piscuskas. Sebastian, before we take a look at race 3, which begins the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6, a question for you. You talked about how you fire up your app and make wagers on a regular basis. What type of player are you? In other words, are you just strictly a straight win player? Do you play some of the exotic wagers? I know money isn't, you don't have an endless bankroll, so to speak, but you got to kind of allocate your bankroll. What are some of your favorite wagers and why?
So I'm a fan of the win bet. Mainly for me, I'm a fan of single race wagering. I like to find a 15 or 20 to 1 shot that I think can run, 1, 2, 3, if necessary, key it in third sometimes, right? Have it up and down. I like to just try to hit one race at a time. I was a big pick 4 and pick 5 player back in my day, but I can't string 5 together. Let's be real. You give me 8 races, I hope to find 2 or 3 winners, and hopefully they're the prices, but I'm not stringing 5 together.
It's a real interesting observation you make, Sebastian, because I know a lot of players who say, look, I can handicap one race really diligently and really thoroughly, but when you start adding multiple races into the equation, then all of a sudden all sorts of, different variables and factors of luck come into play. In one race, a horse might not miss the break, but over the course of 5 or 6 races, inevitably a horse is going to get a bad trip, they're going to miss the break, they're going to get a bad ride, whatever it might be. So a lot of players like you try and focus in on just 1 or maybe at the most 2 races and kind of discard the multi-race wagers. Now, of course, the multi-race wagers are the most popular wagers we have because they have the biggest payouts, but you make a very good point. Isolate it, and once you become comfortable maybe making some scores in that individual race, then maybe branch out.
That's 100% the case, Tom. Multi-race wagers are a lot of fun. I've hit plenty of them in my day. It's just, there's a little bit, like you said, variance
randomness
comes into play.
Yeah.
complete randomness. And, you can't always, factor in leg 4 of your pick 5, maybe jockey falls off, maybe late scratch, the track profile changes, the reins open up, which I think we're safe today.
Well, we totally are. There's not a cloud in the sky.
Not a cloud in the sky, but things like that really do come into play. And as your tickets go deeper into the later legs and as the day progresses.
Here's one of those multi-race wagers I was speaking about. It's the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 jackpot single ticket carryover. Now up to $198,000. That amount plus whatever is wagered today will be yours if you're the only winning ticket. And we kick it off in race number 3, sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track for Cal-bred 3-year-olds. Allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. We've got a field of 5 after the scratch of number 3, Chicks Dig It. Take note, the favorite on the bottom, number 6, Sassy Nature, is a filly running against the boys. 6-5 on John White's morning line. She was impressive in career start number 2. You expect her to continue that progression, Sebastian?
I do. I typically am not really a fan of, fillies taking on males, but when we're talking about a horse like this, they've just picked their spots so well. I mean, she's 6-5 against males. She'll probably end up being closer to 4-5 in the race. She was just so lights out last time. I was a race early. In her debut, she opened up and she quit and they brought her back and they were confident in her. And so for me, she ticks a lot of boxes. I like speed drawn on the outside. I like, controlling speed. She's all that and more.
It's interesting also, Sebastian, besides all the positive attributes you mentioned, also take a look at her workout tab. Since her last race, she worked 3 furlongs in 33 and change. You don't see many runners, male or female, work that quick going 3 furlongs. So besides the outside post position, certainly jockey Edwin Maldonado seems to have a lot of advantages to see whether he wants to go to the lead or let someone else take it and basically track. Race number 4 begins the 50-cent late pick 5 sequence. We're back on the turf course, 1 mile the distance for Cal-bred 3-year-old fillies, maiden special weights, a good field of 9 here. Morning line favorite from the Carla Gaines barn, number 2, Golden Temper, 5-2 on the morning line. 3 lifetime starts with 1/3 to show for it last time out. Talk to us about race 4.
Race 4, I'm really taking a flyer with the 3 Kind of Blue.
20-1.
Nothing on paper that would indicate that there's anything, there, but hold on now. Sprinting on the grass, first time out, off slow, throw out. Sprinting on the dirt, probably doesn't want to do that. Again, broke poorly, throw out. Now we're going long on turf. 2 starts to a route, 2 sprints to a route. This is a kind of horse that will blow up a lot of those pick 5 tickets we were talking about earlier. So, hey, I'm more than happy to take a shot with a filly like this at 20-1.
You also like number 5, Jacqueline Cochran, who ironically was named. She actually, let me see here, because I Googled her, believe it or not. Nick Alexander does such a great job naming his different runners. Primarily, they're sports personalities. But she was the first woman to break the sound barrier way back in 1953. She was an aviator for most of her life. Thermal, California has an airport, which is out in the desert. It's named in her honor as well. So certainly Jacqueline Cochran was a very accomplished aviator. And thank you to Amy Zimmerman, our executive vice president here at Sanita, for pointing that out in the one-sheet daily notes that's distributed to all the employees. But you like who was it, Sebastian, number 7 or 8 for a second?
Number 5, Jacqueline Cochran.
That's why I got onto it. Thank you so much for reminding me. Why do you like Jacqueline Cochran?
So she debuted on dirt for State Bred Maiden 50. Again, another horse that broke slow. Steve Miotti, his horses aren't necessarily always cranked first time out, wants to get a race into him. I like that they move her up in class and they stretch her out. So another horse where I'm taking a flyer in a spot where, I'm not in love with the favorites. And
Kind of Blue, your top choice at 20-1, Sebastian, kind of picked up my head as well when I was handicapping, only from the simple standpoint that Mario Gutierrez decides to ride back. Now, granted, he's basically the stable rider for Redham Racing, but nevertheless, if he thought this daughter had no ability, he might have said, you know what, look, guys, I'm going to take a pass. But he decides to ride her one more time going long on the turf. So I've certainly seen stranger 20-1 shots that might figure. Race number 5 begins the 50-cent late pick 4 sequence. We're going 6 furlongs on the main track for maiden claiming 3-year-old fillies, in for a $40,000 tag. Scratch the 1, Pat's Lucy. Leaves us with a field of 7. The morning line favorite is number 3, Midnight Vow from the Hector Palma barn, 8-5 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Sebastian, we want to watch the replay for number 6, Prestigious, who has 1 career start. It was at Del Mar in the 4th race back on December 4th. The filly we're going to watch here breaks from post position number 3, and most importantly, she trails the field for most of the race, but watch the gallop out past the wire. Let's listen to Larry Colmus describe the action for Prestigious debut run.
General Welfare had a bit of a slow beginning. It will be Blackened for the front. Blackened takes the early lead from Sweet Hello. Nobay is away running in third to the inside. And then it's Forced Acclamation out running in fourth, followed by Tenacious Lady on the outside of Short Journey. Then Cherry Chaos along the rail, break of three back to Prestigious, and the trailer and well off the rail is General Welfare. Racing for the far turn, that first quarter, 22.66 seconds. Blackened and Sweet Hello locked in battle with 3 furlongs to run. They have 3 lengths on Nobay, who's inside of Tenacious Lady, third and fourth. General Welfare has moved out of last and up into fifth now, but still 6 lengths behind, going by Forest Acclamation as they come to the top of the stretch. Blackened and Sweet Hello, they're still going at it as they turn for home. Blackened on the inside, ahead in front. Sweet Hello, right up alongside at the 8th pole. 5 lengths back to Nobay, and then comes General Welfare, who's cutting into the gap on the outside, but running out of time. Blackened has it as they come down to the wire. It is Blackened and Abel Cedillo to win it over Sweet Hello. General Welfare was third, and then came Tenacious Lady.
All right, Sebastian, down there on the rail, galloping into fourth and now switching to the outside is our friend Prestigious. And take a look at this gallop out as they continue into the clubhouse turn. She is absolutely full of run. Now, the bad news, as I mentioned, is the race is over, and that distance was 6 furlongs. And today's distance is 6 furlongs as well. But she broke slow. She trailed the field. She showed some ability at the end of the race. And that was just her career debut. She has every right to improve today for a very competent trainer in Luis Mendez, and she adds Lasix.
100%. That everything you said and more is the key here. One start goes up a small tick in class, which is good. Phillies first time, any first time starter. They
don't know what to expect.
They don't know what to expect. It's all a surprise. What I like is that she finished very well at the end for absolutely nothing, right? Didn't pick up a check, didn't gain anything out of it.
Wouldn't know it unless you watch the replay.
No,
if you look in the racing form, this is hidden.
That's exactly right. And so that's why, you got to sniff these out. You have to sniff these out. That's part of the handicapping. But now the puzzle is, okay, great. Now that you found a horse like Prestigious, how do you make money with it?
Exactly right. And what's your plan with Prestigious? We see like another long shot, Half Nelson for second. Pretty sure you're going to play Prestigious to win, but what else are you going to do with her in race 5?
So I like to play late pick 4 every day. That's one of my favorite bets to play, even though I am still a single race kind of guy. I end up on horses like Prestigious and Half Nelson. Half Nelson in second. I could put her on top, but I put her in second only because she's coming out of the same race as the favorite of Midnight Vow. Midnight Vow, was beat 8.5. Half Nelson was beat by 20, but there was some trouble in there for Half Nelson. She was on a small break. So if we're willing to take the favorite at 8-5 morning line, why wouldn't I take Half Nelson at 12-1 and say, let me try and beat this 8-5 favorite?
Bombs away in race number 5, so says Sebastian. Let's take a look at race number 6, a small field of 4 after the scratch of number 1, 4A Laugh. We're coming down the hillside turf course. It's for 3-year-olds, non-winners of 1 other than allowance optional claiming types. The morning line favorite, number 4. Mi Hermano Ramon, who was very impressive on debut, going 2 turns for trainer Mark Glatt. Before we get your thoughts on the race, let's take a workout on January 21st for Mi Hermano Ramon. You'll see that it was a team drill. He went 4 furlongs while Tripoli and Delta Wind, both from John Sadler Barn, were working 5 furlongs. Let's take a look at that team drill. Right now, you can see the 2 runners working out are the aforementioned Tripoli and Delta Wind. They're going 5 furlongs. And lo and behold, as the camera continues to pan to the left, you'll see Mi Hermano Ramon jump in right there. That's him on the outside. And the 3 of them will work in tandem. Now, granted, as I mentioned, the workout distances are different. The teammates from the Sadler Barn, who are the 2nd and 3rd place horses right now, are from the Sadler Barn and only working 5 furlongs. Meanwhile, Mi Hermano Ramon is working 4 furlongs. You wanted to show this workout, Sebastian. What did you see as we're watching them continue into the top of the lane?
So I really want to show this because this is everything. When you get on and you watch tape and you watch film and you watch replays and workouts, Mi Hermano Ramon, the way he's moving, that's what you want to see. Riders chilly, and a grade 1 winner to his inside is under an all-out shove. All-out shove, and Mi Hermano Ramon is widening to the wire, through the wire, and on the gallop out.
And Tripoli is running in one of our stakes races tomorrow, the San Pasquale. I believe it goes as race number 8 on a 9-race card. And you mentioned Tripoli, winner of the Pacific Classic, has a lot of class. And Mi Hermano Ramon, on only 2nd in career start number 2 today, certainly exudes class on the tape of that workout.
Definitely. Yeah. He exudes class. He's a 3-year-old that's obviously still going to, keep learning, right? He still hasn't put it all together. He wasn't green in the morning, but, he can get into a little trouble in the afternoon. He's just a horse where he's one I want to follow this year. Perhaps if they keep him on the grass and they stick around on the Del Mar Derby path, the Hollywood Derby path, there's a ton of grass races for 3-year-olds these days. You could even try him on the dirt at some point if they were willing to take a chance. Creative Cause, second in the Preakness to I'll Have Another. Suwan says maybe not the greatest dirt, right? Broodmare sire, but the sky's the limit for a horse that can move like that in the morning.
And I failed to mention that number 5, Mas Rapido in race number 6 is a first-time gelding. But as you can see from the graphic, Sebastian has a lot of confidence in number 4, Mi Hermano Ramon in race number 6. Let's take a look at race number 7. Begins the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4 sequence. That links our last 2 races here at Santa Anita with the last 2 races at Golden Gate. It always pays well because it's a higher minimum of $1 with a lower takeout as well. And we kick things off here in race number 7, sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. $32,000 is the claiming tag. A good field of 7. The Maury Line favorite from the Jeff Mullins Jr. barn is number 4, Octopus, 5-2 on the Maury Line. A lot of ways you can go here, Sebastian. Which way you going?
I land on, as a matter of fact, the number 6. Second time in the Steve Knapp barn, drops a small 1 level, maybe even half a level, to be honest with you. I liked his last race. He stumbled against a horse like Bachambo, who, he was very well meant. I think he was always going to win that day. And so for a horse like Matter of Fact to, stumble, now he's coming in. This will be his, his first try against Older. So that's fun. He ticks a lot of boxes for me. Steve Knapp's had a really stellar meet so far. And I like the way that he looks on paper. I like the way that he moves in his races. And that's where I end up on As a Matter of Fact.
Number 6, As a Matter of Fact, Sebastian's top pick was a first-time gelding last time. Also was well clear of the third-place horse. Harvard did not change leads and was running against his own age group. Now runs against Older for the first time. You also like number 4, Octopus, the Morning Line favorite. Tell us why.
So Octopus is a horse that just sticks around at this level. He runs his best racing at Santa Anita. Jeff Mullins Jr. has done a great job in his dad's absence. He's probably right now he's one of the better trainers we got around here. He's a young kid. He tries very hard. He's humble, and he's everything that you want from a horseman around my age.
Fair enough. Let's take a look at the nightcap, Sebastian. Race number 8, which begins the $5 Golden Hour Daily Double. Similar concept. Last race here with the last race at Golden Gate. And our last race is a 1 1/8 on the turf course. It's a starter optional claiming race. Scratch the also eligible number 10. Golden Eye will not compete. Number 3, Flint Stroll. First off the claim for trainer Doug O'Neill is the 9-5 Maury Line favorite. Before we get your selections in the race, Sebastian, we want to take a look at the replay for number 7, Chickasaw, who won off of a layoff last time out at the maiden 20 level. He breaks from post position number 3 here. We're going to pick up the tape on the far turn because he's dead last entering the far turn, and he hails them all the way once they get to the wire. Let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action.
From the back of the field, Chickasaw, they turn for home, and it's Frost Alert clinging to the lead, has it by a length. In the center, Batukan is coming now nicely, and even wider out, Chickasaw joins the party. Haskell not quite doing enough at this stage. It is Batukan who takes the lead at the 16th pole, starting to edge clear as Chickasaw comes on with a furious rally, and Chickasaw got up. Batukan second.
Hard to beat Frank Miramati's enthusiasm when he calls a race, even if it's a maiden 20, Sebastian. Have you ever dabbled into trying to call a race, maybe just off in a closet somewhere where you didn't embarrass yourself?
So when I was a wee lad, maybe 4 and 5, I had a stationary bunch of horse sets, right? So it was a whole thing. It had a farm, it had a gate, it had a tractor, and the whole 9 yards. And I would call races trying to be Trevor, right? And you never get anywhere close to Trevor. You never get anywhere close. But it was so much fun. And I thought, okay, I'll be a race caller. I was too tall to be a jockey, which is what I really wanted to do, right? But hey, by the time I was 12, the dream was dead. So it's fine.
Dream's still alive. You're the loyalty and marketing ambassador for Santa Anita, and you're on the seminar set for the 3rd time in your short career here at the Great Race Place. We need a winner for a dinner to get out of here and actually have a nice meal. Who's going to win race 8 and why?
So I put Chickasaw on top. Now
Tell us why.
I'm going to level with you, okay? There's nothing inherently about this horse that would necessarily translate to the grass.
Other than his tenacity. When he came down the lane and he was wide, he had a nose for the finish line.
He did.
And got up off a layoff.
And so the reason why I chose that replay and I wanted you guys to see it is because he is the perfect example of a horse where you see the light bulb come on. between the 8th pole and the 16th pole, Kyle Frey was able to get to his left-hand whip, get him to stop laying in. And once he kind of cocked his head to the right, and then that's when the light bulb came on, like, oh, now is when I'm supposed to be running. And then that's when he picked up Batukin like he was tied to a post and went by him and won the race. So I'm going to level with you. I don't know if Chickasaw's form or Chickasaw's running style might not be conducive to this turf course. I'm not sure what the rails are out today. It looks like 30 feet. He might be up against it, but he's going to be somewhere around 20-1. And as far as I'm concerned, if I can come into a race like this where I know that the horse I'm betting, he's coming into a race, he's figuring things out. For a young horse like this, why wouldn't I take a chance?
You've talked about how you wanted to be a jockey and maybe even a track announcer. And of course, you're now working at the Great Race Place. Have you ever actually owned a horse, maybe in fractional ownership or maybe just with some of your buddies? I mean, is that something that intrigues you at all?
So the closest I got to ever owning a horse is when I put $20 to win on one. And then if he wins, that's my dividend, right? I didn't ever had to pay a training fee. I never paid a vet bill, but I've always been interested and one day thought, I'll own a horse, whatever level that it's at. It's not in the cards for me right now, but it's something that in the future I'm more than happy to get involved in.
And you well know, Sebastian, we need two elements in order to make the game succeed. We need the horse ownership side because they're taking a lot of risk as well. Yeah. And you need the horse player side. If one of those legs is broken or wobbly, it's not going to work. You need both. And certainly you interact with a lot of horse players and horse owners on a daily basis.
100%. That's, and it's a balancing act to keeping everybody happy, keeping everybody involved. And most importantly, right, like, we want everybody making money. That's how the game goes around. It's the name of the game, isn't it? It's the name of the game. We're here to make money. Now, sometimes I'm here to donate. Other times, I'm here to work, right? So, hey, it's not all fun and games, but there's a lot of fun and a lot of games.
It's a lot of fun whenever we have Sebastian Piscuskas as our seminar guest. He used the phrase perfect example. He's the perfect example of the future of our sport, and I like to think that it's in good hands. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hope you have a great day gambling. Hope you have a lot of fun. We'll do it all again tomorrow. Next voice you hear will be track announcer Frank Miramati updating us with any late program changes. Take care and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.